If you want to see killer snowmen, rapping AI, and wild animals, you found the right video. In this video, I'll show you how I created a winter-themed children's book and a snowman song and music video that's pretty bumpin'. You won't want to miss this. Hi there, I'm Kathy, former elementary teacher, turned children's book author, and the founder of Teacher Authors Academy, where I help teachers create awesome children's books and publish them online. Now, I decided to create a winter-themed children's book and a music video to go along with it. When I create books, I like to create songs that accompany the book to make the whole whatever it is I'm conveying to children, I like to make it more engaging. So they have the book and then they have a song that they can dance to. And I decided to do that for a winter themed book. Now, I'm not sure which came first in this scenario. I don't know if the book or the song came first. I really don't know. I kind of settled on the idea of the Frosty Snowman, which is kind of a play on Frosty the Snowman. So after I decided on my title, the Frosty Snowman, I had to figure out why he was frosty. And I decided to make him not actually frosty, but he appears frosty to the other characters in the book. And it turns out there's something bothering the snowman, and that's why he's frosty. So the underlying story for this book is there is a snowman who is in the forest with these cute little wild animals, and he sees them. They're curious to know who he is. You know, they want to be his friends, and so they start talking to him. They ask him what his name is. They give him compliments. But in each scenario, the Frosty Snowman doesn't say anything. He doesn't talk back to these animals. And the animals are fed up. They've had it. They are trying to be nice to the snowman. They're trying to be friendly and make small talk and communicate with them. And he's being frosty. He's being really frosty. And so the animals, they get together and they start gossiping about the snowman, saying, you know, we did all of this. We're trying to be his friends. And he's just being so rude and arrogant and mean. Then a little girl comes, and she has some coals in her hands, and she finishes Frosty. So she sticks some coals in his mouth where they're supposed to be, and now Frosty has a mouth and he can talk. And then the forest animals, they come back and they see the snowman has a new smile. And out of nowhere, he begins talking. He talks back to them and greets them, and he's such a friendly character. And the overall lesson that the story is conveying is to not judge people when they don't respond or they don't do things we think they should, because there could be an underlying issue. Now with Frosty, I was trying to think of something that could be his issue or his problem. I was thinking, well, maybe he has a splinter, but his arms are sticks, so that didn't really make sense. And I said, well, how can he be in pain? Maybe he's in pain for some reason and he's not talking, and it didn't work out. And so I came to the idea that he can't talk. Right? He doesn't have any coals in his mouth, so he can't talk, he can't speak. And so the animals are thinking he's being a little frosty, he's being a little arrogant, he's not talking to them. When in actuality, he's not talking to them because he can't talk to them. So that is the story, and the lesson that it's teaching children is to show empathy when others aren't doing what you expect them to do, but show kindness, show understanding. And for those who are maybe being gossiped about, or maybe who aren't being treated nicely because others think something's wrong with them or others think they're being frosty, to be forgiving, to have compassion, and to not hold that against them, right? Everyone just needs to be friends. Everybody just needs to get along. Now again, this was completely unplanned. I did not plan on doing a book or a video for January, but it kind of just happened. I know we as teachers, we are famous for doing thematic types things and resources, and we have to do something. You know, we change our bulletin board every month, right? I just couldn't let January go by without doing something. Now, I will not do a book or song in February. I probably will, but I don't want to. So I just want to give you a little background on the overview of how I created the book using Midjourney and Canva, and I'll tell you more about how I created a music video, and I did something I have never done before. So stick around, you don't want to miss it. Now, in terms of my book, I use Canva to format my book and create my layout. If you haven't seen how I maneuver around in Canva in terms of formatting and getting everything laid out, make sure you check out my video where I published the book in one day using Canva. So I have a big overview there of my process for creating my book in Canva. Now for my illustrations this time, I wanted to use Midjourney. I love watercolor, and you'll notice that among my books, if I have a choice in illustrations, it's going to be watercolor. There's just something about it. It's just beautiful to me. It's timeless. It reminds me of classical music, and I love classical music. So I wanted to do a watercolor book, and I think I can do some pretty nice watercolor images with Midjourney. Now, some people may say, well, Midjourney is doing the images. Yes, that is true, but I have learned that illustrating with AI is definitely a skill, and it is becoming an art, and I will show you why, okay? Now, if you're not familiar with AI art and how it works, I encourage you to look it up. Sometimes it can be a little controversial, but from my understanding, AI is trained using images and words, ChatGPT and language models. So they're trained using these images, but when you can create some very specific prompts, that helps your artwork, your writing, whatever it is you're creating, it helps to distinguish it from anything else out there. So you want to be as specific as you can be, because when you are specific, then you are making sure that AI is not just giving you something that's already created, right? It's pulling from these reference points that it already has by being trained by these images. So you want to make sure that it's not a replica or an exact copy of something that's already out there, because we don't want to take anyone else's artwork, right? We want them to have credit for what they do. So I like to make sure I'm very specific, and I also check my images using reverse lookup, Google reverse search, to make sure that my images are not replicas of images that are already out there. I think that's very important to make sure we're not taking other artists' work, okay? Now, in terms of my illustrating for this book, I will tell you, this has been one of the longest illustrating processes I have endured, because I wanted it to look a specific way. And when you have characters and you want to turn them and have consistent characters in multiple scenes, it can be a little tricky when you're illustrating with AI. That's why I say it is definitely a skill, and it is a form of art in itself. Now, take this image, for example, of these forest animals together. There is no way Midjourney would have given me something this detailed and that looks this great based on the prompt that I put in. Now, this is the original prompt I put in for this setting, or for this point in the story. I wanted a snowman, a deer, some forest animals. I did change my forest animals after I got to illustrating. Sometimes you'll do that. If you're illustrating with AI, I originally started with a porcupine, and I just couldn't get the porcupine to work with the AI images. So I changed him to a little squirrel. But I wanted the snowman and the forest animals together in one scene. And that did not turn out very well. Okay? It just didn't. So that wasn't going to stop me. So I just had to do it another way. There was a workaround. So I created maybe one character in the scene, and then I pulled the other characters in and I added them so that it looks like they were all there together, but they were not all there together. Okay. Now for my deer, I wanted an image of one deer looking to the side, just a side profile of a deer. Midjourney did not want to do that for me for some reason. So I had to get creative, and I had to tell Midjourney, okay, give me an image of two deer facing each other like they're speaking to each other. Then Midjourney gave me the image of the deer I was looking for. Okay, so that's why I say it is a skill. You have to be a little creative in your creating in your prompts that you give Midjourney, because I can tell Midjourney all day long, Midjourney, give me an illustration of one deer looking to the side profile, and Midjourney always wants to turn the little deer's face toward me. I want him looking that way, Midjourney, but Midjourney makes him look at me. So it is an art, it is a skill. You have to maneuver around and do different things to get it the way you want it to look. So that's why this took a little bit longer. And I wanted this to be a really nice story because I think it has such a great message. I wanted it to look nice. I wanted it to be a book that maybe parents or teachers or even children could browse through, and when they see the illustrations, they're so cute and they look so nice that they'll want to get the book, and then they will read the story and the story will resonate with them and they'll learn a great lesson from the story. My book has rhyming words, of course. You know, I love me some rhyming words. So my book has rhyming words. I just like rhyming words, y'all. I don't know. I like watercolor and I like rhyming words. So my books are probably gonna have watercolor and rhyming words. So my book has rhyming words, and you can kind of see the story here. And I also wanted to have a font that matches the style of my illustrations, because to me, watercolor is just classic. It's not really modern, it's not contemporary, it's really classic. So for my font, I didn't want a sans serif font. I wanted a font that has serif. It has little curves at the end, at the tips. So I chose a few, and I can look at fonts all day. I have to time myself when finding fonts, because I get search for fonts for hours. It's bad. It's really bad. So I had to cut it off. So I found about 4 fonts that I would choose from, and I put them together, and then I looked to see how they would look on my pages, and I decided on this font. It looks almost like a typewriter font. It has kind of like an old world feel. You know, it's not really modern, it's not really contemporary, and I decided on this font. I really like it. I didn't want it to be too playful, because the message, the underlying lesson of the story it's not really playful, right? It's about empathy, it's about kindness, it's about friendship. It's really light but kind of deep at the same time. So I didn't want my font to be too playful. I wanted my font to be classic. I wanted it to look nice, to kind of match the overall theme and the lesson and the feel of the book. So that's why I chose this font. I really like it, and I think it works well with my illustrations. Now let's move on to the video. This was the really fun part. Now, I knew I wanted to do a fun rap version of a snowman song. Okay, it wasn't gonna be like Frosty the Snowman, but it was gonna be this rap song about a snowman to go along with my book, The Frosty Snowman. So I have heard that AI can create music. AI, I know, can do a lot with words. You have ChatGPT and writing and everything. And I heard that AI can write music and write songs. So I decided to try it out, right? I like me some ChatGPT. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go to ChatGPT and I'm going to see if ChatGPT can write a song for me. And if it's bad, I don't have to use it. But if it's good, that'll save me some time, so I won't have to write a song. So I scrolled on over to ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT to write a snowman song for me, and ChatGPT did. I wanted a rap version of a snowman song, and ChatGPT did a pretty good job. Now, because I am a teacher, I did have to edit it. So I will say it's AI assisted. Okay, I did have to change some of the lyrics because it's kind of a nonsense song, and I'll let you hear a snippet of it. Be sure to go listen to the whole song on my YouTube channel, my Beatbox Beats YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description. But it was a lot of nonsense, and as a teacher, I just can't have that much nonsense in a song. We have to make it flow, right? It has to have some type of meaning, and I think for the most part, maybe I shouldn't say that. I think some rap music is just Nonsense. We just put words that sound good together, right? I have a hard time doing that. And I think maybe that's why it was so easy for ChatGPT to write the song for me, because I don't do that. It has to have a meaning. It has to have a meaning. I just can't put words together. I'm a teacher. I can't do it. But ChatGPT did it, and I had to edit it. I was like, ChatGPT, no, we can't have this. We have to change this. So I did edit it to make it work better for me. But it is such a cute song. It's a fun song. And I will tell you, ChatGPT did some lyrics that I never would have done because I'm so particular about my lyrics. I think I write my songs like I write my books, but now I'm understanding rap music, it just didn't have to do that, right? Just put something together that sounds right. So I edited, so my song is AI assisted, it's ChatGPT assisted, and I think it sounds really, really good. So after ChatGPT gave me the lyrics, I had to make it into a song. So ChatGPT didn't give me like the timing and the sequence and the bars and all of that. After ChatGPT gave me the lyrics, I had to read the lyrics and I had to say, okay, how fast is this song going? So I decided to slow it down some to make sure children can sing it, to make sure I could sing it, because ChatGPT gets a little wordy. You know, ChatGPT is very wordy. So I had to make sure that the song was slow enough so that I could sing the words and children could sing the words and not just get thrown off because it's so fast. Now, I did check with ChatGPT to make sure the lyrics were original, because again, I don't want to take anyone else's work. I don't want to take credit for anyone else's work. So ChatGPT assured me that it is an original work, and I did Google it. I Googled the lyrics to make sure they didn't show up anywhere else, because ChatGPT can be something else. I remember one time I asked ChatGPT to help me with an article with sources. And do you know ChatGPT created an article and made up some sources? Yes, I asked ChatGPT to give me the sources, and ChatGPT said, oh, I just put that in there, right? Like, NBD. No big deal. I just made it up and put it in there. So you gotta watch ChatGPT. I do check up on ChatGPT and make sure everything is okay, everything is legit. So yeah, the lyrics are okay. They aren't taken from anywhere. And they sound pretty good. So I'll put it in a song and I'll let you hear a quick snippet of the song right now.
The Frosty Snowman, chilling in the snow with his top hat and scarf. He's ready to go. Built from snowflakes, magic in his soul, dropping beats so cold, just making winter hold.
For this video, I wanted to do something fun. The song is fun, the whole vibe of it is fun, so I wanted to create something fun. And now that I've gotten into live videos with real children, they're so cute. That's so much fun also. I've gotten into live videos, so it's kind of hard for me to go back to the animated videos that I used to do in the beginning. So I said, I want a live video or live video footage of real snowmen dancing. So I went to Canva. Canva has an AI image generator that will create a few seconds of video from your prompts. And Canva gave me some pretty frightening videos. I'll let you check it out here. So Canva, I cannot put this in a children's music video. I don't want to put it in any kind of music. This is the stuff of horror movies, right? So that wasn't gonna work. I did get some snippets, some seconds of footage from Canva. Some of them didn't work. Some of them were still images of snowmen, but they just had falling snow. And what I did come up with, what did end up working, it just wasn't enough. And I also used Runway to generate some AI videos, and some of them, as you see, just didn't make the cut. I think children would be terrified if they saw something like that in their video. Now, some of the Runway videos were pretty good. This one was not one of them. And sometimes, now this one is pretty scary. Look at this one. Oh. And now this one, I'm not sure why they transform like that, but so I went with Canva, but I found an image or a video of a snowman that was already dancing. It was about, I think, 25 seconds of this cute little snowman dancing and twirling around. So I decided to go with that one. I would just loop it in my video, and I was going for like a really cool theme. I didn't want the plain blue background with the orange. I wanted something different. I wanted it to be cool. My whole beatbox beats world is supposed to be really cool, really hip. People say hip. People don't say hip. Cool. I think people still say cool. Bussin'. That's it. Bussin'. I think I'm using that word correctly. So I wanted it to be bussin', if you will. So I went with a black and white kind of grayscale theme. I wanted it to be just kind of bussin'. I wanted it to look different. I wanted it to look really cool. So I went to Canva, I changed my video, I made it black and white and grayscale, and I think it turned out well. So I went to GarageBand and I put together a quick beat, a slow beat. It didn't take long at all. This was not a song that I put a lot of effort into, right? It was AI assisted. So I just wanted to do something pretty quick. And we had some really frigid winter weather one week, maybe a couple of weeks. I think a lot of schools were closed and this was during that week. So I was just trying to get my snowman song done right before all the snow melted. I don't think I kind of quite beat all the snow melting, but I did get it out. So I just wanted to do something quick, something fun. And I went to GarageBand, created a quick, slow beat. It doesn't have a lot of instruments. And you can do this too. If you don't have GarageBand, there are similar programs that are available on Windows that are free. Now, I haven't looked at any of these. I just did a quick Google search for you. You can check some of these out. These are supposed to be some pretty good alternatives to GarageBand, and they even have pre-made tracks, so you don't have to try to do your own tracks. You can find a track that's already created and you can record a song that you create, and it could be really fun, and I think your students would absolutely love it. They will love it. I think you'll love it too. You may be surprised. You may be a rap star in disguise. You just don't know it yet. So give it a try. So there you have it. I created a very special winter-themed children's book and a fun rap music video to go along with it. I've been dancing to it. If you listen, I think you may start dancing to it as well. So I hope it inspires you to create your own winter-themed children's book and music video to go along with it. And if you are a teacher and you've never published your awesome children's book, what are you waiting on? I would love to help you publish your children's book here at Teacher Authors Academy, where we also have PD, where you can learn with your colleagues at your school at no cost to you, which is pretty awesome. And if you're not a teacher, it's not a problem. I can help anyone publish their amazing children's book at the Creative Studio at Summa School. The link is in the description. I hope you've enjoyed my publishing journey today for the book and the song and the music video, and see you in the next video.